আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম। একটু ওয়েট করো, আমরা 7:05 শুরু করবো। অ্যাকচুয়ালি তোমার ফ্রেন্ডদের খবর দাও।
ওকে স্যার।
Okay, let's start. In the last class, we talked about genre. Okay, literary, non-literary. Within literary, there are several categories. Within non-literary, there are different categories. Okay. First of all, we'll talk about issue. You see, language varieties, okay, discourse. They're also part of discourse. Okay, literary, non-literary. Okay, spoken, written, formal, informal. We touched on that. Spoken variety, written variety. That is, there are also different kinds of discourse. So we'll talk a little bit about that and then go into some other matter. Spoken versus written. We all know what it is, but just review. Okay. Spoken versus written language. Okay. Language is first spoken, written comes later. Okay. Originally, we had spoken language, then the writing system developed later on. But the differences between the two types of language use. Written language is planned, organized. We can think about it, then we can write, we rewrite, we polish it. Transactional, we pass on information, okay, right? Uh, the writer has a message for the reader, okay? Spoken language is often unplanned, on the spur of the moment, therefore less structured, and it's interactive. That means it is used in communication with other people, okay? The other uh, characteristics of spoken language, we repeat words, okay? So it comes out of a thought process, so it's a sort of first draft. Vocabulary can be informal, okay, and along with uh, the output, the gesture or body language, there's stress, there's intonation, there's rhythm, okay, there's variation of speed, okay, the grammar can be correct. Sometimes there can be informal grammar level. There's loudness, okay, pausing, phrasing of sentences, that sort of thing. On the written language, on the other hand, they're products of carefully thought out ideas, sort of final draft thing, and different ideas are condensed into text. Grammar is more formal, more you know correct, in fact, and the writer tries to maintain a neutral social role. Okay, there is a punctuation in spoken English. We had stress, rhythm, intonation, sort of thing. Okay, right. So we can compare. Okay? Speech comes before writing. Many languages have no written form. Many individuals cannot write because there may be in many countries, in our countries, there are people, illiterate people. Okay, children learn to speak, but later on they learn how to read and write. Okay, but first learn to speak. Okay, but written language is not of the same style as the spoken language. There are differences unless your writing is informal. Okay, text messages or informal emails. Okay, that could be a little different. Okay, so there are some similar. একটা question থাকতে পারে, differences between written and spoken language. Many points to be raised, and written language has more permanency. Okay, but spoken words, unless recorded, it vanishes. Okay, and there is a question of formality, informality, and written language is more formal. Okay, and spoken language is more informal. Okay, and the question of vocabulary, simple words and sentence structures, but in written language you can use more complex or academic type of vocabulary and more longer sentences. Okay, right, here's an example. A written note might say, would you like to go out to lunch with me? That's a message, but written, right? But spoken language, informally, you wanna go out? You wanna go out for lunch? Okay, just a moment. রাশেদ, হ্যাঁ বলো, আমি ক্লাস নিচ্ছি, বলো। হ্যাঁ, কালকে সকালে যাবো, 7:30 বের হবো। আচ্ছা। Right. So you see, informal language, wanna, gonna, right. Okay. Grammatically, written language more polite. Okay, and but spoken language may be um, incomplete sentences or incomplete or informal grammar. Okay. Oral communication uses words with few syllables. In written language, they use more complex words. Okay. Written English consists of neat, correct sentences, but speech may not sometimes always follow that. এগুলোর কিছু এক্সাম্পল আমরা দেখলাম, আরো আছে এখানে। Instead of because is a cause. Instead of got you, gotcha. Instead of bet you, betcha. Instead of has to, hasta. Could you, coulda. Have to, hafta. You have to go there. I have to clean the house. Pronunciation, the question of pronunciation in spoken English, but spelling in written English. Okay. Right. So these are some of the, you must know the sound system, phonology of a particular language. Okay. Not only individual sound stress, but in written there's punctuation marks. Okay. Right. Repetition is not necessary in written English. Spoken language, sometimes the repetition and things like that. Okay, আমি অন্য জায়গায় দেখাচ্ছি সামারি করে, সবগুলো দেখাতে পারবো না। Can you see the screen? Hello? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yes, sir.
Hi everyone, I'm George. There are lots of differences between spoken English and written English, which is why it's really important to learn English through context instead of just memorizing lots of vocabulary lists. So today I'm going to show you 3 differences between spoken English and written English, and we'll finish with a quiz afterwards. If you find this lesson useful, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. Number 1. Contractions.
Okay, spoken English is I won't, I can't, I would. Okay, but in formal written English, unless it is within quotations, speech of somebody within quotation, you do not use contractions.
More likely to use contractions in spoken English. A contraction is when you connect 2 words together using an apostrophe. For example, I am becomes I'm, you are becomes your, and I would becomes I'd. Can you change this sentence into a spoken sentence using a contraction? I would love to go there. This becomes I'd love to go there. Another difference in spoken English is the use of tails and headers. You might not have heard of this, so let's look at an example. That guy in the fashionable red jumper, is he our new teacher?
Okay, that's a tail comment about that person. But in written English, we don't use that style.
Is he our new teacher?
সেটা শুরুতে আসতে পারে। That guy in the fashionable red jumper.
Guy in the fashionable red jumper.
তাহলে ওটা হেডে আসলো, আগেরটা টেইলে।
Tails and headers give information to help the listener understand what we're talking about. The main difference is that headers come at the start of the sentence, whereas tails come at the end of the sentence. Here are some examples. Eating a lot of Easter eggs. That's what I'd like to be doing now. They're easily the best pets in the world, dogs.
এটা শেষে আসলো, টেইলে আসলো। যদি বলতাম dogs are the easily the best, তাহলে ওটা হেড আসতো।
Number 3. Ellipsis.
আজান হচ্ছে, আমরা একটু থামি।
হ্যালো বলো হ্যাঁ শোনো 19,000 দিবা ফাইন হয়েছে
ওকে এলিপসিস যেটা আমরা আগে দেখেছি ড্রপিং আউট ছেড়ে দেওয়া বাদ দেওয়া ওকে
আমার ক্লাস
আমরা কোহিয়ারেন্স বা কোহেশনের সময় দেখেছিলাম ওকে
Ellipsis is something that is typically used in spoken English. It's when we leave words out of a sentence, but the meaning
understood in context. Okay, যেমন ধরো that is a style, spoken style. আমি একটা এক্সাম্পল দিতে পারি এখান থেকে রাইট মনে করো এক বন্ধু আরেক বন্ধুর বাসায় গিয়েছে এবং সেই বন্ধু তখন চা বানাচ্ছে মেকিং টি রাইট এখন বলছে টি বলছে ইয়েস সুগার 1 কোনো অসুবিধা হলো বুঝতে
না স্যার
তাহলে যদি আমি পুরো বাক্য বলতে যাই would you like a cup of tea তখন এই বলে yes I would like a cup of tea তারপরে সে জিজ্ঞেস করবে how many spoonfuls of sugar do you want in your tea এখন এই বলবে I want 1 spoonful of sugar in my tea ইংরেজিতে কোনো ভুল আছে
না স্যার
আচ্ছা কিন্তু সমস্যাটা কি তাহলে spoken English
স্যার অতিরিক্ত কথা বলা হচ্ছে
right we do not speak like that human beings do not speak like that human beings do not use spoken language like that অতিরিক্ত কথা বলা হচ্ছে in context we can understand each other মানুষের স্বভাব হচ্ছে কম কথায় কম পরিশ্রমে কাজ করা ওকে এটাকে লিঙ্গুইস্টিক্সে ভাষায় বলা হয় রিডান্ডেন্সি রিডাকশন অতিরিক্ত কথন এটাকে কমিয়ে দেওয়া ellipsis এটাকে ellipsis দেওয়া okay so that is how you speak I can understand each other because of two things knowledge of the language আমরা জানি ফুল সেন্টেন্সটা কি আমার মাথায় আছে and knowledge of the word সত্যিকার অর্থে চা চিনি কয়টা লাগবে এগুলো this is knowledge of the word
না খুলে নিয়ে গেছে
স্কিমা বলি আমরা clear
হ্যাঁ আমার ক্লাস চলতেছে পরে কথা বলি
understood.
Yes, sir.
For example, did you see the match last night? See the
did you see বাদ দিল see the match last night তো স বলতে পারতাম না but did you okay.
match last night? Are you ready yet?
You ready yet অথবা ready yet you বাদ দেওয়া যায়
Ready yet? What have you been doing lately? What you been doing lately?
আরো কমানো যায় you doing lately
So now it's time for a quiz. Is this spoken or written English? Number 1. It's a tiring sport.
এটা স্পোকেন ইংলিশ কন্ট্রাকশন আছে ঠিক আছে এটা বাদ দিলাম আমরা তোমরা দেখে নিতে পারবে এটা খুবই ইজি লেসন এই অংশটা আমি অল্প একটু দেখিয়ে অন্য লেসনে চলে যাব রাইট ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন স্পোকেন এন্ড রিটেন ইংলিশ দেখি এখানে কি আছে স্পোকেন এন্ড রিটেন ইংলিশ written language is not simply speech written down এটা নিজস্ব স্টাইল আছে নিজস্ব ফরম্যাট আছে the difference because they evolve in different to fulfill different functions okay early writing tended to be oriented towards goods and services professional or academic right sorry the artistic function originated in the spoken language is more context dependent আমরা কনটেক্সট থেকে অর্থ বুঝতে পারি কিন্তু রিটেন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ হতে elaborate হতে পারে to explain the context. Okay? Right. Okay. Right. আচ্ছা এটা থাকলো অন্যটা যাই আমরা differences. To quote the phonological system, the phonological system is used in the spoken form. এটা সহজ, তুমি দেখে নিও। আমি বরং ডিফারেন্সটা যেখানে ভালোভাবে বোঝানো হচ্ছে ওখানে যাই। এই যে এখানে আছে রিটেন ভার্সেস স্পোকেন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ। হ্যাঁ, হ্যালো, কি দেখা যাচ্ছে না? কি আসতে চায় এখন? ঠিক আছে, এটা তো না, কোথায় ছিলাম? এটাও না। আচ্ছা, হ্যাঁ, এটা ওকে। এখানে একটা বাম দিকে রিটেন টেক্সট আছে, ডান দিকে স্পোকেন টেক্সট আছে। আমরা অ্যানালিসিসটা দেখি নিচে। সেম থিং, written text. In general, the green and white papers successfully highlight the government's well-placed concern for equity towards the unemployed and propose practical recommendations which are likely to lessen the problem of mass unemployment, such as the training wage. The written text more formal vocabulary is good, formal style ব্যবহার করা হচ্ছে। In general, so generally speaking, highlight, okay, successfully, right, ওটা অন্যভাবে বলছে highlights the government's well, এটা more academic form official, কিন্তু এখানে বলছে white papers are successful because they show that the government cares, show, highlight, okay, concern, cares, okay, right. তো এরকম দেখা যাচ্ছে যে রিটেন টেক্সটে মোর ফর্মাল ভোকাবুলারি ইউজ করা হচ্ছে এবং স্পোকেন টেক্সটে মোর ইনফর্মাল ব্যবহার করা হচ্ছে। ওকে, এখানে দেখো সামারি করা আছে। রিটেন টেক্সট লং সেন্টেন্সেস, ফর্মাল ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, ওকে। স্পোকেন টেক্সট কম্পারেটিভলি লঙ্গার, এক্সপ্লেন করতে বেশি, ওকে, অ্যান্ড লেস ফর্মাল, okay, right. Spoken text is more informal and longer than written text and uses more words and more sentences. Spoken sentences also tend to be shorter than those found in essays, etc. দেখে নিও তোমরা, আমরা বরং অন্য জায়গায় তোমাকে দেখাই। এখানেও আছে টেবিল আকারে, দেখো। Spoken language, extralingual information may be, আমরা জানি we are talking to a person in a particular setting, সেখানে age, sex, সমস্ত কিছু is clear to us, okay, right. আর written language, extralingual ওই যে কনটেক্সটটা সেটা তো দৃশ্যমান নয়, এটা তখন এক্সপ্লেন করতে হয়, লিখতে হয়। ফিডব্যাক ইমিডিয়েট ওরাল স্পোকেন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে, আর written language can be delayed feedback if somebody responds through, right. Grammatical features, spoken incomplete sentences, interrupted utterances, altered sentence structure, একভাবে শুরু হলো আরেকভাবে শেষ হলো। কিন্তু written language grammatical features are more concrete, more well organized, okay, because they're carefully thought out, okay. Vocabulary একটু আগেই দেখেছি, formal, informal. Spoken language can also use slang, in fact, okay? And vocabulary slang is avoided, in fact, okay. More technical, more formal. I see no swear words, okay, okay, right, okay. আচ্ছা, এখানে আমি খুব বেশি সময় নষ্ট করব না। এখানে এই যে আরো টেক্সট আছে, যেমন স্পোকেন ভার্সেস রিটেন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ। তোমার হয়তো মিড টার্মে হয়তো এই ধরনের একটা শর্ট নোট থাকতে পারে, স্পোকেন ভার্সেস রিটেন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ। ওকে, spoken language. Students will study the concept, speaking and listening, interacting and responding. Okay. Identify the features of spoken and written language. Right. Finish it. I'm going to down the কি আছে তেমন কিছু নাই এখানে, না তেমন কিছু নাই। আচ্ছা দেখি, আচ্ছা কিছুটা আছে, একেবারে নেই তাহলে। Okay. Conversation rules, spoken language. Avoid unnecessary details. Don't ask another question before the first one has been answered. Do not interrupt another while he is speaking. এগুলো আমরা প্র্যাগম্যাটিক্স যখন আলোচনা করব ইন ডিটেলস তখন আমরা আলোচনা করব, অত ডিটেলসে যাব না। আচ্ছা দেখি অন্য কোথাও কি আছে। ওকে, স্পোকেন and written language. Difference between writing and speech. Written and spoken language differ in many ways. However, some forms of writing are closer to speech than others. যদি informal writing হয়. Below are some ways. Writing is usually permanent, and written text cannot usually be changed once they have been printed or written out. Speech is transient, মানে উবে যায়, unless recorded, নাহলে তো মিলিয়ে গেল। Speakers can correct themselves, and ইচ্ছা করলে আমি কারেক্ট করে চেঞ্জ করতে পারি, আমি এডিট করতে পারি what I'm saying as we go along. Written text can communicate across time and space. 500 বছর আগে, 1000 বছর আগে কেউ লিখে গেছে, as a reader I can read it. It's a communication between the writer and the reader. Okay, speech is usually used for immediate interaction. Okay, unless আমি যে ভয়েস মেসেজ পাঠাই, আজকাল যে আমরা ভয়েস মেসেজ পাঠাই। Written language tends to be more complex and intricate than speech, with longer sentences and many subordinate clauses. The punctuation and layout of written text also have no spoken equivalent. However, some forms of written language, such as instant messages, SMS, email, informal, সেটা spoken language এর কাছাকাছি হতে পারে। Spoken language tends to be full of repetitions, incomplete sentences, corrections, and interruptions, with the exception of formal speech. Formal speech আবার formal হয়ে যাবে। Okay, যেমন একটা লেকচার। Okay. Writers receive no immediate feedback, কিন্তু একটু আগে দেখেছি স্পিকার তো সঙ্গে সঙ্গে পাচ্ছে, স্পিচ ইজ ডাইনামিক এটসেট্রা। Okay. Written material can be read repeatedly and closely analyzed, and notes can be made on the writing surface. Okay. Only recorded speech can be used in this way, যদি রেকর্ড করা হয়ে থাকে। Some grammatical constructions are only used in writing, আমরা দেখেছি, and some kinds of vocabularies, কিন্তু অনেকগুলো আমরা অমিট করি। এই যে দেখো স্পোকেন, রিটেন, এই কথাগুলো এখানে মাঝখানে কিছু কমন গ্রাউন্ড আছে, কোহেশন এটসেট্রা। ওকে, রাইট। তাহলে তোমাদের একটা টেক্সট রইল এখানে, আরো দুই একটা টেক্সট এখানে আছে, দেখিয়ে দিই। Main differences, spoken and written language. Okay, written language is more formal and more complex than spoken language. Spoken language, language you speak. It is often spontaneous and transient, used for interactions. Two speakers or listener and the speaker are often the same place. They can correct any mistakes they make during speech. Right. কিছু informal language use হয়, যেমন my bad, busted, ain't I, and am I not. Written language they use when you write. Okay, It depends whether the written language is formal, academic, professional, or SMS or personal email. Okay. In that case, it can be informal. Spoken language involves speaking and listening. Written language, reading and writing. They can have complexity. Spoken language is more informal and simple than written language. Written language is more formal and complex. Right. অনেক কিছু এগুলো আছে তোমরা দেখে নিও। ওকে, রাইট, আরো আছে টেক্সট এখানে। Differences between spoken and written English, right? Written permanence, explicitness, density, etc. Right? Spoken language different, transient. Okay. আচ্ছা, এখানে টেক্সট অনেক কিছু আছে, তোমরা দেখে নিও। এখানে আরেকটা বোধহয় পাওয়ার পয়েন্ট আছে।
Welcome to lecture number 24 of the course in Linguistics 2, English 504. Now, as you can see, differences between spoken and written discourse. Now, this is what we're going to discuss today. And since in the last lecture we talked about the discourse analysis, so during the discussion we came up with the facts that you can have different discourses. You can have written discourses, you can have spoken discourses, the written piece of writing or the spoken conversation. So what in fact is the difference between these two? What are the salient features that distinguish these two kinds of discourses? And while we are analyzing these two discourses, what rules we have to follow, how we have to look at the written discourses, and how we have to look at the spoken discourses. But before that, before going on to this discussion,
it
let's
looks
see
like it's a long video. আমরা যেগুলো ওগুলোই আলোচনা করা হয়েছে
what we did in the last class.
আচ্ছা, আমি স্কিপ করে যাচ্ছি, তোমরা দেখে নিও। আমাদের মেইন কন্টেন্ট হচ্ছে উইক 5 লেসন টু মিডিয়া ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, রাইট? অ্যানাদার এরিয়া অফ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, এটাও ডিসকোর্স। ওকে, right? Media is so common in our life today that we are dependent on it. Okay, see, there is digital media, there is social media, there are different kinds of media. We cannot live without media. Every now and then, I'm using the media to take the class. In fact, okay, but let's see what is media.
What is media? Media is a mass communication enterprises including print like newspapers, magazines, or broadcast like radio and television, combinedly called media.
Okay, he's an Indian speaker, pronunciation. Okay, right. Mass communication enterprises including print, newspapers, magazine, or radio, television. Okay, but today there'll be internet. Individuals employed in the so we call them media personnel.
Individuals employed in the communications industry is also called media. You can see in the image like internet, television, radio, newspaper,
internet, television,
magazines, all these are combinedly called media. These are useful for communication of messages. What are the types of media?
Two main types: print media and non-print media. Okay, right? Non-print media may be television, movies, video games.
Like print media, television media, movies,
Different.
video games. Can you memorize what is media?
We don't need to. Okay, right. Types of media. There are different types of media already discussed. Radio, invented many years ago, still popular to some extent, right? Okay. গানের মধ্যে দিয়ে শুনে এবার রেডিও গাড়িতে বসে শুনে। Yeah, human beings need to communicate, and for this purpose, we can use the media, different types of media, as necessary. Most important types are print media, newspaper, and magazines. Still used, but after the COVID, a lot of people have stopped reading print copies of newspapers. A lot of people read the newspaper online. Okay, there are other ways of, like the social media to get information. Anyway, but still there. But people, lesser number of people are using it. But still, newspaper produced and sold. I'm not sure whether this 56 million is true now. Separated columns, headings and subheadings, pictures, captions, publication information, published by whom, who is the editor, quizzes and puzzles and word games for people to spend their time. But usually straightforward language. Who, when, what, why. What happened, when, why, how, where. 6 questions to answer. News can be global, news can be local. And on the right hand, you can see uses to know about local and global news. Search for jobs, people look at the newspaper. To entertain ourselves, there's sports page, there's also page for cultural events, films, drama. To develop our language skills. Now that is an important thing. People learning second or foreign language, or even the mother tongue, if they read the newspaper carefully, the language ability develops more. Okay, one of the things that we say to second or foreign language learners: read the newspaper, listen to the radio, watch TV. Television. Still important. A lot of people watch television for information, for entertainment, but other things are taking place. Competing. For example, Facebook, YouTube. Okay, people are becoming more and more dependent on those things. Okay, scrolling. ঘরে চাকা থাইমা গেছে তবু স্ক্রলিং চলতেই আছে। কি বলবো, আমাদের ইউনিভার্সিটিতে যখন দেখি আমাদের সিকিউরিটি গার্ড, তারপরে আমাদের অফিসের পিয়নেরা সময় পেলেই ওই যে স্ক্রলিং করতে আছে, বুঝছো? দেখছো তোমরা? হ্যাঁ,
স্যার ওই ছোট গাড়িগুলো
okay, we're talking about television here. Has strong visuals, presents news, cartoons, sports, movies, news about them. Not as accessible as radio. Maybe in rural areas, disadvantaged people may not have a television at home, but radio is more accessible, cheaper. Okay. On television, you can have advertisements, commercials, okay? But you need connection, dish connection. Uses to know about local or global news, like the radio. To entertain ourselves, we can get in from the radio to radio drama. To watch movies, cartoons, sports, news, products, promotion, play. So television is more versatile, more uh, you know visual oriented than the radio. But sometimes radio, you can lie down and close your eyes and listen to the radio, or somebody driving a car at the same time can listen to the radio, for example. So both have uses, but television is more. Television, radio invented 1895. Okay, important media. Still, you can listen to it in cars, or even people traveling by bus has headphone and listening to the radio. যে কি ব্যান্ড আছে, যে কি ব্যান্ড শোনে আজকাল বেশি, ওটা কি বলে, এই যে বেশি শোনে যে গান টান বাজছে? কোনটা ক্যারেক্টারিস্টিক লিখছে? রেডিও, হ্যাঁ। Clear sound, cheap and available to everyone. News. Okay. Entertainment, listen to songs. And all of this are provided by the Facebook or the YouTube. And people are becoming more internet essential for trade, for commerce, for education, for communication. Okay. Worldwide network of digital communication. It also wastes a lot of our time because some people become addicted to the internet. So we have to use it judiciously. So it can have both positive and negative. Internet is www World Wide Web. HTTP file transfer protocol. You can download a video, you can share an audio or picture. The search engines, there's Google Chrome, there's Google, আরেকটা কি জানি বলি আমরা কমনলি ইউজ করি, একটা হচ্ছে গুগল ক্রোম, আরেকটা গুগল
স্যার উইকিপিডিয়া,
না সার্চ ইঞ্জিন
সার্চ ইঞ্জিন
Firefox, sir.
হ্যাঁ
স্যার মজিলা
মজিলা একটা হচ্ছে গুগল, আরো আছে, এই দুটো আমরা বেশি ইউজ করি। ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভিটি, মাল্টিমিডিয়া,
ফায়ারফক্স স্যার।
Firefox. So we can use the internet for research, for online shopping, for communication, apply for jobs, play games, watch videos, and listen to songs. Many different uses. Research. I mean, today you see an academic, as a student, as a teacher, as a researcher, life has become easy. You go to the internet and use a particular prompt, and all that is on the net will be available. And you can read them, you can download them, books, articles, everything. So life has become easy. And students are using a lot of AI now, like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek. No problem. I mean, they are a source of knowledge. But the problem is, if you do not use them judiciously, responsibly, and if you copy from it, and if you get your essay written by ChatGPT, then that's immoral. Many universities in Europe and America are thinking of, some has already stopped, banned the use of AI in the universities. But use it as a source of information, as a source of knowledge. Okay. Because you have to, এই যে এখানে বিভিন্ন সোর্স আছে, বিভিন্ন ম্যাটেরিয়াল আছে, দেখো চ্যাটজিপিটি, দেখে তুমি আইডিয়া কালেক্ট করে সিনথেসাইজ করো, ডেটা করো, মেক ইট ইউর ওন। এনিওয়ে, four major media of communication. Yes, right. আমরা আর একটু দেখবো এগুলো। Right, social media. Very important, widely used in today's world.
What is social media in simple
And a strong influence for politics even, okay? Things can change.
English? Many of you are interested in search engine optimization or internet marketing may have heard of the term social media. It is a phrase that gets thrown around a lot nowadays in the search engine marketing world, but upon questioning, many people do not know what social media actually is and what types of websites are classed as social media websites. So what is social media? Essentially, social media incorporates the online technology and methods through which people can share content, personal opinions, swap different perspectives, and insights into world issues, and generally discuss the evolution of media itself. Social media website content can come in many shapes and forms. Text. Text is often used to put across opinions or write blog posts. Images. Images and photos can display anything from holiday photos to shots by professional photographers. Audio. Social media lets you create podcasts for users to download. Video. Video sites mean that you'll be able to record a video of your child's birthday for friends all over the world to see. The most popular types of social media websites are huge at the moment. A few examples of these social media websites are social networking, websites that allow you to create a personal profile about yourself, then chat, discuss, and share information with others, such as friends and family. Prime examples of social networking sites are MySpace, Bebo, and Facebook. Wikis. Wikis are websites that allow you to create, edit, and share information about a subject or topic. Wikipedia, for instance, is one of the most popular wikis. Video sharing. Video sharing sites allow you to upload and share your personal videos with the rest of the web community. A perfect example of a video sharing website is YouTube. Photo sharing. Photo sharing websites allow users to upload pictures and images to a personal account, which can then be viewed by web users the world over. Flickr acts as a great example of a successful photo sharing site. News aggregation. News aggregators provide a list of the latest news stories published by users from a range of different websites. Dig, for instance, is one of the web's largest news aggregators with one of the most dedicated communities. Social bookmarking. Social bookmarking sites allow users to publicly bookmark web pages they find valuable in order to share them with other internet users. Online gaming. Online gaming is often based around communities. World of Warcraft is a prime example of online gaming. Presence apps. These websites allow you to post microblog-like posts to announce what you are currently doing. Twitter is a good example of a presence app. This list is by no means exhaustive, and there are many more types of social media sites available on the internet. And because the social media front is moving so fast, even if it was possible to list all the varieties,
you see the variety and the spread of social media and the way they use it, we cannot do without it, and it is occupying a very large part of our life, and as a result, we cannot ignore. And language is used here, so the discourse comes in here. Okay, we cannot do without it. Okay, আমার প্রেজেন্টেশনটা আবার শুরু করতে হবে, কেটে গেছে। Okay, right. So how social media works? These are the symbols of the different types of social media.
So what is social networking? Take a look at Facebook. Formed in 2004, this site now has over 1 billion active users every month. And Twitter, formed in 2006. These are the two major kings of the social networks. Think about your friend's birthday. What would you do for your friend's birthday? Me personally, I'd write on their wall. But how has this changed the world?
Let's look at the facts.
Previously, people went to a shop where the gifts, okay, or greeting cards on birthdays and other things, and buy one and send it by post. So it cost money, it needed time. But now what you do, you send it on WhatsApp or internet, on email or messenger, within the click of a second.
Time when Facebook was around, traditionally you would say happy birthday by sending a card. That card would cost anything from 50p to, well, any amount. With the ease of simply writing happy birthday to your friend or family member through your Facebook account, there is now no need to go to the shops and spend money on these type of cards. This is one of the main contributors to the slow demise of card shops on the nation's high streets.
The success of President Obama's campaign back in 2008 was almost purely driven by the social...
Is important. Not only President Obama, even Clinton, and Donald Trump. He also made a vigorous campaign on the social media to make it possible for him to win the election.
Networks. His advisor, Chris Hughes, was there to support him as his technology advisor with his decision-making with this new medium. The outcome of the election could have been so much different without...
Even you see in our country, the last political upheaval in our country, and the social media had a great role in it. I mean, the government wanted to shut down the internet and other things, but the social media survived. Okay, and the students were able to view, to express their views in different types of media. And in fact, you see, in today's world, I mean, you cannot hide anything. Things get quickly spread.
Tim. Let's look at teenagers today. How are their lives different as opposed to somebody who was a teenager 65 years ago?
How do I use social networking? Well, I only use it professionally in as much that being at the radio station here, I will use the world and actually the definitive answer as to whether...
Depth. But what about the other major social network, Twitter? It works in a similar way, but there are some differences. The major one being that you've only got 140 characters to deliver your...
Yeah, some technical differences.
David Spade.
আমি একটু টেনে দিচ্ছি, পরে দেখে নিও তোমরা। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে।
Great. And it's great to talk to people as well. It's a really informal way of talking without people feeling like they have to do anything. You couldn't disappear. It will never disappear. Facebook may be at the point where it's starting to plateau off with memberships, but it will never disappear. You know, when you think about 8 years ago, Facebook didn't exist, Twitter didn't exist. We've got over 500 million people on Facebook now, 200 million on Twitter. But before that, you know, since then, you've had, you've got Vine now, the new one that's out. You've got loads of others. You've got Tumblr. You've got Pinterest, Instagram. I mean, that's just basically an app for taking photos of your food, I guess. But you know, for some people, it's brilliant and it works. I think the world is a better place for it, actually. Things more instant. News is a really good thing. BBC are bright.
Facebook users. That's one.
Okay, let's see. The impact of social media on our lives. In a sense, the postal system, that was also type of media. You know, telegraph. How is it evolving?
With social media sites being used by 1/3 of the entire world, they've clearly had a major influence on society.
Is, you know, the internet, you know, all that stuff that I don't use.
Social media. I guess it's the place for people to like connect people with all.
Okay, so it's so wide. So, the world after the social media. It has the power to change the world. It has happened in our country, it's happening in other countries too. একটু কুইক দেখাচ্ছি, এগুলো পরে দেখে নিও তোমরা। So Wikipedia, there's a lot of information there. Okay, we leave the world of, you know, non-print media, but let's look at print media, because here we have a different type of language use, and let's focus on that. Then we'll come back to non-print media later on. Okay, stylistics of English language use in newspaper style. Okay.
So presentation to offer
ঠিক আছে, আমি আবার দিচ্ছি, just wait আমাকে। ওকে, এবার এসছে আবার স্ট্রাকচার। আচ্ছা, তাহলে নিউজপেপার কি দেখছি আমরা? এখনো মানুষ নিউজপেপার পড়ছে, কম পড়ছে। Right, but if you want to get detailed news and views, then you have to go to the newspaper. Structure and heading of text. functional style. Okay, that means we want to communicate, pass on message or information to people. So that's a function, community function. Okay, so it is a community effect. English newspaper style can be defined as a system of interrelated lexical, phraseological, and grammatical means which serve the purpose of informing and instructing the reader. So this will be different from academic writing. This will be different from your literature text. So English newspaper style or the text, okay, vocabulary, sentence structure, organization will be different from other types of discourse. This is very special type of discourse. It's a kind of genre, non-literary. So what do we have? Brief news items, press reports, okay, court proceedings, parliamentary debates, articles about something, political situation, social situation, pollution, economy. It will have advertisements and announcements. And the purpose to inform what is happening, to influence public opinion through editorials or through news reports. So each news report starts the headline, okay? And the headline is a sort of summary of the story or text. Headline is the most concise form of giving information. Okay. Sometimes you see news reporters use emotionally colored words and emotive syntax. For example, look at this one. Okay. Royal family bows to public pressure to show its grief. কে ধরতে পারবে কোন অকেশনে এটা কোন দেশে এটা ছাপা হয়েছিল, কোন পত্রিকা নাই নাম?
Sir, Queen Elizabeth.
Most probably England.
England, that's right. প্রিন্সেস ডায়ানা যখন মারা গিয়েছিল তখন তারা রয়্যাল ফ্যামিলি প্রথমে তেমন কোনো শোক প্রকাশ করে নাই, কিন্তু there was such a demand from the people that finally they showed their grave. Okay, কতগুলো গ্রামাটিক্যাল ফিচার্স আছে, সাধারণত ওটা একটু বড় কিন্তু নর্মালি এর থেকে ছোট হয়। ভার্বাল ফ্রেজেস, ফ্র্যাঙ্কো প্ল্যান স্টাইল, ফ্র্যাঙ্কো হচ্ছে বোধহয় স্পেনের বোধহয় ছিল। ওকে, ভার্ব ইজ অফেন ওমিটেড, ওই যে টেলিগ্রাফিক স্পিচের মতো। ওকে, 255 released prisoners released from prison, ছোট করা যায় বা প্রয়োজন মতো। আচ্ছা, ওই যে আবার ডায়না আবার আসছে। Past events are denoted with present tense. Okay, এটা হয়তো তার পরের দিন ব্রিটিশ পত্রিকা ছাপা হয়েছে, ডায়ানা ফাইন্ডস ডেথ ইন প্যারিস। এখানে প্রেজেন্ট টেন্স কেন ইউজ করলো? এটা হয়তো তার আগের দিন ঘটেছে। প্রেজেন্ট টেন্সের ইউজটাকে গ্রামাটিক্যালি কি বলা হয়? হিস্টোরিক প্রেজেন্ট, ঐতিহাসিক বর্তমান। মানে এত হট নিউজ, ওকে, যেন এটা এখন ঘটেছে বা আমাদের অতি সাম্প্রতিক, ঠিক আছে? এবং এটা ড্রামাটিক, এটা বিকাম ড্রামাটিক, অনেকটা স্টোরি টেলারদের মতো। ওকে, দিস ম্যান কামস আপ উইথ এ নিউ আইডিয়া, এটা অতীতের কাহিনী বলা হচ্ছে, এটাকে বলে হিস্টোরিক প্রেজেন্ট stylistically. Future actions may be expressed with infinitives, যেমন ফোন রিপেয়ার্স টু স্ট্রাইক। কিছু কিছু ফিচার্স দেখা গেছে ইংলিশ নিউজ পেপার, সেখান থেকে এরা দেখাচ্ছে। ফুল ডিক্লারেটিভ সেন্টেন্স সামটাইমস হতে পারে, দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড মোর্নস ডায়ানা দ্য প্রিন্সেস অফ ওয়েলস, অর ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্স, হোয়াটস দ্য ডিফারেন্স? মনে করতে কি হয়েছে? হু কেয়ারস? Nominative sentence, Christmas in Lapland. Elliptical sentence, lesson brought to life. মানে ইলিপসিস হচ্ছে, কিছু জিনিস বাদ দিয়ে আছে, সেটা ভেতরে টেক্সট পড়লে বোঝা যাবে। Phrases with verbals, not enough to laugh about. Question, the worse the better? খারাপটাই কি ভালো? Complex sentences, plan to teach runners who no longer race. Okay. Direct speech, do the English blame the French for killing her? ওই ডায়ানার কথা বলছে। So heading may have different style, as you can see here. Right. English needs for heading, lexical and stylistic features, sometimes colloquial words. Ministry of Finance likes to say no. Alliteration, teaming is tops for training. তোমরা জানো সাহিত্যে কবিতায় alliteration কাকে বলে? Repetition of the same sound, different words. ওটা একটা ড্রামাটিক ইফেক্ট দেওয়ার জন্য। The English rule for writing headings, headline should tell the story. Okay, for example, Uganda delegation visits Moscow. তাহলে কেন গেল, কি ব্যাপার, ঘটনা কি? Advertisement. Okay, there are advertisement newspapers. The purpose is to bring the advertised product to attention of readers or people, stress the qualities of most attractive way, যেগুলো তোমরা জানো, that can be advertised on television and newspapers too. Clearly outline the reason for buying, leave a memorable echo. Okay, right? Piper boss, nakinle loss. Linguistic feature of ads, basically simple grammatical structure. Construction usually occur as a subordinate part of a sentence. A large number of imperative verbs. Buy them, try them. Buy it, try it. Vocabulary is linked to a particular type of product. Tool, card. Tendency to become stereotype. Okay. This meat is tender. This fruit is juicy. Okay. The vocabulary refers basically attributes like new, fresh, clean, wonderful, crisp, or come, look, choose, buy, eat, enjoy. Official documents, it's a type of language, another type of discourse. The language of business document, language of এগুলো পরে আমরা দেখবো, language of diplomacy, আচ্ছা কিছুটা এখানে এসছে। Okay, right? আচ্ছা এটা আমরা এখানে অতটা দেখবো না, ভবিষ্যতে আমরা দেখবো অন্য কোনো লেসনে। ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ অফ বিজনেস। ওকে, আমরা এখন মিডিয়া ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ নিয়ে দেখছি, এগুলো দরকার হলে পরে আমরা আসবো, ঘুরে পরে আর, সুতরাং এটা আমি কভার করলাম না। ওকে, সো উই আর স্টিল টকিং অ্যাবাউট প্রিন্ট মিডিয়া। Okay, newspaper, magazine, books, newsletters, advertising, memos, business forms, etc. Most probably magazines, newsletters. We publish our Daffodil University newsletters too, give information, things happening. Brochures, give details, information. So if you go to an admission office, you can find brochures of different graduation and post-graduation level courses or difference, okay, to give information of our courses. So you can get brochure to get information about a product. Posters. If you go to Daffodil University campus, you can see posters, different types of posters. Okay, the posters can be of products. It has to be brief, eye-catching. Advantage of print media, loyal readership. People often read one particular type of particular newspaper, and a particular newspaper often in the past, maybe to some extent too, they have allegiance to a particular political party or political philosophy. Okay. Okay. Disadvantages. The cost incurred can sometimes be expensive considering the medium you choose. Well, not too much, but people are reading newspaper less and less. They're becoming more dependent on social media and digital version of the newspaper on the internet, right? বিশেষ কোভিডের সময় মানুষের যে পত্রিকা নেওয়া বন্ধ করে দিয়েছিল, খুব বিরাট সংখ্যক মানুষ এখন আর সে পত্রিকা এখনো নেয়নি। আমি নেই না, আমি সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া দেখি, নিউজ দেখি, টেলিভিশন দেখি, আবার সময় পেলে নেটে গিয়ে পত্রিকার সফট কপি দেখি। Anyway, things are changing. Someday there may not be any print media newspaper. They can only be digital. Anyway, the future is future. Okay. Role of magazines and newspapers, advertisement, types of newspaper: daily, weekly, national newspapers, special audience, supplements. Sometimes newspaper bring a supplement on different occasions. Then digital advertising, classified advertising, advantages. So one of the advantages, you see, as newspaper over radio and television, it can tell the whole story. It's extensive discussion of a particular event, which is not possible through social media or radio or television. Okay, so that's the advantage. Okay. Yeah, limitations are limitations. You see, as you can see, people need to buy it, people need to store it, people need to read it. Okay. So when you listen to the radio, you can lie down, close your eyes and listen to the radio. Or you can relax and watch TV. You can just scroll the social media like আমাদের হান্নান ভাই, আরেকটা আছে ওটার নাম কি জানি, হাবিব, দেখবা যে সময় না থাকলে ওই কাজ করতেছে। Okay. Right. বিজনেস আছে ওর মধ্যে, রিডার্স এর ইন্টারেস্ট আছে, যে রিডার্স ডাইজেস্ট অ্যাবাউট থিংস in our life. Business, there will be business publication, business magazines, farm publications, okay, facts and figures, different types of magazines and their different purposes. Okay, যেমন ভোগ আছে, commercial parts of newspaper. Let's have a look at it. We read the newspaper mainly for information and sometimes for entertainment. Usually, most important news items are started here in the front page. Front page contains stories from local communities, state, national, international news events. The rest of the stories are found in the news section inside. It may have a different thing, advertisements like that. Okay. Sometimes an editorial, an opinion page of readers, okay, or journalists regarding national issues. What's that? Local and international information. Entertainment page. Fashion, music, film, comics. Classified. You can see different things in newspaper, print media, and they have their own style of language use. We'll have a look at them.
Newspapers, the latest Key Stage 2 module on Discovery Education Espresso. Here we have a hand-picked selection of newspaper articles from our extensive collection, featuring topics that will spark interest and provoke debate amongst pupils. Articles are written in 3 differentiated versions to suit a range of abilities. Study the text to analyse the language and features of newspaper reports. Then use them as a model for your own writing. Videos introduce pupils to different types of newspapers and explain the key elements of a well-written story.
Who, what, where, when, and why.
Saturn orbits 1,430 million kilometers from the Sun.
Activities will help pupils distinguish between facts and opinions.
Okay, so not only facts, but also opinions can be expressed through the newspaper. Okay, right. So those are journalistic principles, and here is a comparison between সবগুলো আমি দেখাচ্ছি না, তোমরা দেখে নিও, between print and non-print media. এটা একটা কোশ্চেন তোমাদের মিড টার্মে থাকতে পারে, প্রিন্ট এন্ড নন প্রিন্ট মিডিয়ার পার্থক্য স্পোকেন এন্ড রিটেনে যেরকম দেখানো হয়েছে। Communication, whether written, broadcast, spoken, that reaches large audience, includes television, radio, advertising, movies, internet, newspapers, magazines, a lot of things. Mass media. Mass media, how many people use this for communication? Mass media. Print media and broadcast media, we have already seen types, you see. I'm not going to that, you know that, you know these things. আচ্ছা, এগুলো টেক্সটের আকারে আছে, তোমরা পড়ে নিও, আমরা আলোচনা করেছি। যেমন প্রথমটা পড়ি আমরা। Major advantage in this print media is that the static nature allows for indefinite exposure. It remains for any time. In theory, someone could study a beautiful magazine advertisement and read through interesting content for several minutes. That's broadcast media. A major difference between broadcast media and a key disadvantage is that the message is fleeting. After TV or radio spot runs for 30 or 60 seconds, the message goes out of sight and out of sound. So you can bring it back if it is recorded, but that is a difference in fact. Okay. Then journalism, we have talked about. So journalists follow these principles, particular style for particular type of newspaper. They have to do it in order to.
Journalism presentation. The differences journalism for print media and electronic media. Created by.
Okay. Oh, sorry. How about that? Okay, right. Right. Let's see. Go back to non-print media and television, for example, and writing for broadcast, television, and radio. How is it different from print media like newspaper? As type of
news review from BBC
News review. Two people discussing recent event. TikTok show now. Two people are analyzing news. Okay, and see how informal they communicate, they interact, they ask the question, they make comments. It's not a lecture. It's a discussion. To some extent informal.
Learning English.
Hello and welcome to News Review, the programme where we give you the words and phrases to help you talk about the news. Hi, I'm Sian and joining me today is Catherine. Hi Catherine.
Hi Sian.
What story do you have for us today?
Okay, Sian, today's story is quite a worrying one and it's to do with the world's oceans.
Oh dear, let's listen to this BBC News report.
A report compiled by 80 scientists from 12 countries says the global impact of ocean warming has been severely underestimated. The study launched by the International Union for Conservation of Nature suggests that climate change is pushing plankton, jellyfish, turtles and seabirds into waters previously
radio news.
Too cold to support them.
Or television news.
Okay, so scientists around the world are agreeing that the
discussing
warming of the world's oceans is going up.
So it's another extreme adjective, isn't it?
It is another extreme adjective, and it's actually
okay. Okay, how to write for broadsheet newspapers. Okay. What sort of
Hi Journals, this is Marjorie with Journals Tip of the Day. Since grammar school, we've been taught that when it comes to writing, we have to expand on our thoughts. Essays needed an intro, supporting paragraph, and a conclusion. Well, forget all that. When it comes to writing for broadcast news, remember to KISS, meaning keep it simple.
Keep it simple and keep it simple, students. Okay. Structure, maybe.
Students, a story for broadcast should ideally be no longer than 5 sentences, and it should answer the following questions. Who, what?
We're talking about event. Something happened. So these are the key questions, and the answers will be in that report.
When, where, and how. KISS also applies to the wording of the story. Use simple words and keep the sentences at less than 25 words. And the tone should be conversational, so that
the tone is
anyone watching the
conversation.
news can understand the information you are providing. Well, That's all. For Journal's Tip of the Day, this is Marjorie.
Okay. So more about writing for broadcast.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Bach for J310F, here to talk to you about writing for broadcast. Broadcast writing requires a style very different from the style of writing we use when our words are going to be read. And in the broadcast realms, our words are heard at the speed of sound. But first, I want to talk about radio. Because when writing for radio, the ultimate goal is to create for your listeners something called a driveway moment.
So writing for the radio, different from writing for the newspaper.
National Public Radio or American Public Radio like Ira Glass, who hosts a show
writing for the radio would be more colloquial, more
I
conversational.
recommend that you download an episode of This American Life in your spare time for an example about how powerful listening to the radio can be. A driveway moment is when you don't want to turn off the radio. In this day of portable music and Wi-Fi.
Radio, shorter sentences, conversational style. Think about delivery time. You have to finish within the span of time. You have to think about pronunciation. It's sort of writing for the ear.
You might think that no one listens to the radio anymore, but it is still a relatively powerful.
A lot of people do not. Not many people listen to the radio, but some people do, particularly in some specific situation. It's still popular.
Media. A majority of adults use it all the time in the car.
Adults যে কানের মধ্যে হেডফোন দিয়ে শুনতে আছে অথবা গাড়ি চালানো শুনছে.
People listen to the radio online, and radio is still one of the best ways to reach people during an emergency because receivers can be low power and lightweight. And so when we think about writing for the ear, there are some basic rules. First off, you want to use shorter sentences. If you find yourself using more than one comma in a sentence, you should probably consider the time to record natural sound, like a babbling.
Conversational, yet concise, friendly, and authoritative, snappy, yet eloquent. Television.
Friendly conversation.
Use friendly conversational tone. Don't use inverted pyramid. Use present tense as when possible, etc.
Tone. Don't use the inverted pyramid style. It's
okay. Right. Writing for electronic media.
স্যার স্ক্রিন শেয়ারটা হচ্ছে না।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে দিচ্ছি। Writing for electronic media.
Homework number 7, writing for electronic. For some of those weeks, you will be writing a document based qualify as electronic media. You probably use a range
radio,
of
television
media already in your life. Examples of electronic media include social networks. This broad category includes Facebook and the business-oriented LinkedIn, but also sites with user-generated content such as Instagram for photo sharing and YouTube for videos, as well as in business communication.
And they have the special types of language used, mostly informal. Okay? Right. So leave it to you. Right. Again, the reading material here. Understanding newspaper language. Tabloid, which is choto newspaper. Broadsheet, broad newspaper. For example, Times, the Guardian, the Telegraph. Tabloid, the Sun, the Mirror. They're very popular, cheaper, and sensational news always. Headline, short words. Thugs battled. Thug ki jinish ke bolte parbe? Thug. Some thugs have been fighting. Okay. Thug ki jinish. THUG, thug. এটা হচ্ছে ইন্ডিয়ান ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ থেকে ইংলিশ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে ঢুকেছে। তোমরা হয়তো ছোটবেলায় ইতিহাসে পড়েছ কার কোন ইংলিশ গভর্নর আমলে ঠগি দমন। ঠগি হচ্ছে এক ধরনের লোক যারা ভারতবর্ষের বিভিন্ন রাস্তায় উৎপেতে থাকতো যাত্রী বেশে, তারপর যাত্রীর সঙ্গে মিশে হঠাৎ করে কয়েকজন মিলে বাকিদের গলায় রুমালের একটা ফাঁস পরিয়ে তাদের হত্যা করে তাদের জিনিসপত্র লুট করে, ঠগ। এবং লর্ড কর্নওয়ালিস সম্বন্ধ সংঘবদ্ধভাবে ঠগীদের দমন করেছিলেন। তো ওইখান থেকে ইংরেজিতে থাগস, প্রতারক। Anyway, thugs battle. Okay, omitted words. যা বলেছি ছোট করে, more MP resignations over expensive row. Okay, new flood alert. Word play, ওই যে পানিং শব্দ নিয়ে খেলে। Okay. Right? For example, police found drunk in street. Okay, not likely. That's not what should happen. The irony in it. Noun strings. Prime Minister's traffic headache because of traffic congestion. He's worried about. Okay. Teenage pregnancy increase. Alliteration. Media makes Madonna mad. Media makes Madonna mad. And the sound is repeated. Sometimes, if you're ambiguous, you have to read the text in order to understand what it means. Brown resigns. Instead of Brown has resigned. Okay. Historic present. এইমাত্র ঘটেছে। Hot news, hot cake. Understanding headlines, etc. Difference between print media and electronic media. এটা তোমার টেক্সট পড়তে হবে। এই যে print media, electronic media. Print media is a form of mass media that deliver news and information through printed. Electronic media refers to that form on which creates, delivers and access new info through electronic energy, etc. etc. হয়তো একটা প্রশ্ন থাকবে ওই যে রাইটিং এবং রিডিং এর মতো differences in print and electronic media. In structure, in style and language use. Okay, আমরা একটা NBC একটা টেলিভিশন ব্রডকাস্ট অফ নিউজ দেখে আমরা শেষ করব আজকে। দেখো how language is used in TV news.
Tonight, breaking news: Hurricane Delta slamming into the storm-weary Gulf Coast. A large and powerful Category 2
text supported by visuals. Animation, real pictures.
Storm with destructive winds and torrential rains. Dangerous storm surge and widespread flooding expected in a region still crippled by Hurricane Laura. Why so many have chosen not to evacuate. Our team is in the Gulf and Al Roker is tracking it all. The president declaring a cure for COVID-19, eyeing a campaign comeback about...
Television is so powerful. Within a short time, it can give you the story, it can make comments, it can bring pictures. Everything is happening before your eyes. So it's powerful media, and also we have seen the powerful use of language. So, তাহলে তোমাদের আরেকটা টপিক হলো যে differences between print and non-print media. Okay? Hello? আগের টপিকটা ছিল
নন প্রিন্ট আর ইলেকট্রনিকটা কি সেম ক্যাটাগরিতে ফেলবো, রাইট স্যার?
হ্যাঁ, আমরা পরে তোমাদের কোথায় কোন পসিবিলিটি আমি জানাবো, কিন্তু দুটো টপিক আজকে তোমাদের সামনে ধরিয়ে দিলাম। একটা হচ্ছে ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন স্পোকেন এন্ড রিটেন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, আর একটা হচ্ছে ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ ইউজ প্রিন্ট এন্ড নন প্রিন্ট মিডিয়া। ওকে
ওকে স্যার,
তাহলে আজকে শেষ করে দিলাম। আচ্ছা, নেক্সট উইকে সোমবার ক্লাসটা নিতে পারবো না।
Present, please. Okay, 47. Yes, please. 48. Present, please. 49.
ওকে, আপনাদের আরেকবার অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স নেওয়া হবে। 04.
Present, please.
05.
Present, please.
14.
Present, please.
15 আছে। 18 আছেন?
15 present.
হ্যাঁ দিয়েছি। 18. 20 আছে, right?
Yes.
22 আছে।
Yes.
20.
Present, please. 23.
25.
Present, please.
29. 30.
Present, please.
31.
Present, please.
32 is there. 33 is there. 36 আছে। 37. 46 আছে। 47 আছে। 48. 49. Okay, 49 আছে। Okay, thank you. আপনারা লিভ নিতে পারেন।